Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Thursday, February 1st edition of our video devotionals. Here we are, already the second month of this year, and we're in the month of February. And of course, February always conjures up, love. Can I say that? February 14th, Valentine's Day. And then, of course, for me, my wife's birthday is on the 8th, so that conjures up even more love. And then there's relatives she has, I have, and people with the birthday in February, presidents like George Washington and Lincoln and Reagan. I'm sure there was others, but we think of those whose birthdays in February. So February, a kind of unique month, and it's a month in which you can definitely have winter, but as we get to the end of it, probably start seeing hints of spring, even though right now in our area, it's seemingly hinting more like spring than winter. But it's not over, so that's what I'm saying. February can be a tricky month, and but otherwise we're in the month of February, and I already posted on Facebook. My calendar here on my desk already going to be a busy month, and there'll be, of course, many other things I'm sure. But so let's make February a good month, all right? And that will be great for you, and certainly great for the Lord if you'll give your energy, your talents, and everything to the Lord. I think that'll be great. All right, so for the next 2 weeks, our theme is the word minister or ministry. Today we're going to be in the book of Romans, chapter 15. We'll begin at verse number 23, and we'll use the word minister once again, and use it in the verb form rather than the noun form. But so find that if it's your custom. Otherwise, let's continue to pray for folks. As I mentioned yesterday, a dear lady that we're asking you to pray for. Serious health concerns, and sometimes the worst part, well, not the worst part, I should say the worst part. Worst part is probably the pain and the discomfort and the debilitating aspect of physical illnesses and that sort of thing. But I tell you, sometimes it's when you just don't have the answers. And my wife, we both know well about that, where we kind of have joked. We have many times on the way out of the doctor's office, a pat on the back, and it's good luck. And I'm talking about literally, that's what was said. And so that's not always comforting, is it? Now, I know we know the Lord's got this. However, when you hear people that you think's going to give you some answers and maybe even some solutions, when they say good luck, then it's not the most comforting thing. But you know what? We do know the Lord does have it. So let's continue to pray for a couple of ladies who are faithful to watch this. And of course, there's from day to day, always things can come up very quickly that changes totally our lives and people around us. All right, so let's go to Romans chapter 15, if you will. Notice verse number 23, it says this, "But now, having no more place in these parts, and having a great desire these many years to come unto you, whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. But now I go into Jerusalem to minister unto the saints." Notice that. This is Paul speaking. To minister unto the saints. Now notice verse 26. "For it hath pleased them of Macedonia and Achaia to make a certain contribution for the poor saints which are at Jerusalem. It hath pleased them verily, and their debtors they are. For if the Gentiles have been made partakers of their spiritual things, their duty is also to minister unto them in carnal things." Now we're going to stop right there. Very simple concept here. Now Paul said there in verse number 25, "But now I go into Jerusalem to minister unto the saints." Now we know that Paul, of course, from the spiritual side of things, ministered to people. There's no doubt about it. And that's something all of us can do, whether in this case the Apostle Paul, a preacher, whoever. We can minister to people, spiritually speaking. But notice here in the context here, we know that Paul was going to certainly minister in the spiritual sense. But notice what he said there in verse 26. He's talking about two regions, Macedonia and Achaia, that they made certain contributions for the poor saints. Now we're talking about their physical needs, and that's even made more clear in verse 27, that it differentiates between the spiritual things and the carnal things. Now, carnal oftentimes in the Bible is used to I guess, depict something in the negative sense, meaning that people that are spiritual, that are living carnally instead of spiritually. But the word carnal, as used here, is talking about the physical, not the spiritual, but the physical needs, which means that you and I were going to eat something today. Now, that's not spiritual, that's carnal, but it's not bad because you're going to eat. Now, all of us, again, here we are February 1st. I wonder how many watching this and how many thousands and millions of people, made some New Year's resolution about how they're going to eat better, and or eat less, or eat healthier, all that kind of stuff. And but you got to eat. You've got to eat. That, and it's always wise to eat properly and all of that. So you're going to eat. So these people, the poor saints, we don't know what all these contributions were, but they could have been certainly food. It could have been clothing. It could have been anything like that. So here's the point I want to make without saying this 10 different ways. All of us can minister to people in physical needs as well. Now, all of us have been blessed by someone who made us something. And I'm talking about like a food. And it may have not necessarily been something that was, we'll say, quote, healthy or like a meal in that sense. Sometimes it's just a great dessert because they want to be a blessing. There's a lady in our church that not too long ago she heard me rave about banana pudding, and how sometimes I go to places and it says, we've got banana pudding for sale. But guess what's not in the banana pudding? A key word, a key element, bananas. So it's banana flavored pudding. And but the point is, I said that, but she made a real banana pudding. Now, she didn't do that because she thought, well, the poor preacher, he's not going to live if he doesn't have banana pudding. No, she just knew it'd be a blessing. It's a blessing to me and my wife, even though my wife does not like bananas, but she likes the banana flavored pudding. But that's me getting off the subject. But the point is it was made to be a blessing. And that, in a sense, is ministering to me because it's being a blessing. Now, you take these poor saints, these were probably real needs, like food, like clothing, like many things. And we can do that, and it's been done for us, and you've done it yourself. You can offer somebody just a little bit of funds and say, look, I want to be a blessing to you. There's times people don't ask, and sometimes there's people, they just plain out say, look, I'm in bad shape, and we minister in the physical sense. And you can do that, and ask God to help you to do it that way, and also certainly the spiritual. But in this case, Paul says, look, I'm going to Jerusalem, and I've got these contributions from Macedonia and Achaia, and I'm going to give this to the poor saints, and boy, what a blessing it's going to be. And the people that's given these, man, that's their way of ministering the physical needs, the carnal needs, as it said right there, to people. And we should be able to do both, the spiritual and the carnal, the physical. So maybe that helps you today. In fact, you may hear this today and say, you know what, preacher, I'm going to do that, or I'd already planned to do it, or I know somebody that I can find out about their physical welfare and try to minister in that regard. All right, we're going to stop right there. Hope everybody has a great day, safe day, healthy day as best you can. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow on this last day of the work week and school week. And have a great day.